Hello everyone, welcome to another RCBytes. My name is Austin Anderson and I'm here today to talk to you about how your client's ego can impact their reasonable compensation. Now, when calculating your client's reasonable compensation using the cost approach, you'll be asked to determine your client's proficiency in every task you specified for them, both standard and business tasks. I have a lot of conversations with people asking why their client's reasonable compensation was either too high or too low. And typically, one of the main reasons this is because the proficiency levels are incorrect. So today we're going to talk about how to determine a client's proficiency level and also show you how that proficiency level impacts their reasonable compensation. As I mentioned, this takes place in step 7 of the client interview of the cost approach. You'll see here at the bottom that we're going to go through every task you've specified the client does and give them a proficiency rating here using this slider. When determining the proficiency level, I always recommend that you ask yourself this one question: does my client specialize in this task? If yes, they're likely going to be average, above average, or high in proficiency. If they don't, they're likely going to be below average or low. Now, this decision tree is a very broad stroke generality approach to determining proficiency. I would recommend not completely relying upon it, but using it as a springboard into a conversation with your customer so you can correctly determine their reasonable compensation through proficiency. Now, we're going to use an example today of Art Vandelay. I have all of the tasks that he does in his day-to-day business, and I want to go through these tasks and determine what his proficiency is. Art Vandelay, as we probably saw in his logo, he's an importer and exporter of latex, which he also manufactures. These business tasks on the left-hand side, I've gone through each one and asked myself, does my client specialize in this task? The only task that he specializes in is the importing, but not the exporting, of course, because that is what he has been doing for his entire career, and it's the reason he started this business. Art is very good at that. Everything else is a subcomponent of starting that business. Because of this, I said that he did not specialize in those tasks, and you'll see here as how I rated him in his proficiency for each task. Now, what is his reasonable compensation based on those proficiencies? You'll see here it's about $72,500 is what it came out to be. And here is a breakdown of each of his tasks, the proficiency level, and what the annual wage is for that task and how it rolls up into this figure. We gave Art Vandelay the opportunity to also answer these questions, and here's what he said. He said yes, he's good at everything. Likely he is a fantastic businessman because he does run one of the most famous companies of all time. However, likely he does not specialize in everything. However, this is what he came back as. He put himself as high, above average, high, and average. And because of that, his reasonable compensation is almost double from what we had it as. You'll see here are the different ratings that he put himself for each task and how that annual wage rolls up into that reasonable compensation. Now, what's the difference? What's the big deal? We see here the reasonable compensation calculation we came away with our tasks, which I believe were correct, was about $72,500. There was a $67,000 difference in those wages. Estimated taxes, if we were to go with his wages, which were incorrect, he'd be paying almost more than $25,000 more in salary tax and W-2 taxes. That's a lot of guacamole. That is a lot of money, simply to say that your client is good at what they do. So, when going through the cost approach client interview, I recommend using that chart. If you have any questions about proficiency levels, if you have any unique situations, I'd love to talk to you more about them. Also, any general questions at all, never hesitate to reach out. Here's my email, here's my phone number. I'm here to help you get the most out of RC reports. So please utilize me. I hope that you found this helpful, and I will see you next week. Have a great day, everyone.